And this is also the river in the paradises. The rivers also is not, I do not think that it's something symbolic in Jannah, but also this is very essential thing in ourselves, in the human entity. They want to live with the water, with the springs, with the rivers. Some people says that Allah Azza wa Jalla talked about the rivers because when the Quran revealed firstly to the Arabs, and the Arabs was deserving water very much because they were living in desert. So Allah Azza wa Jalla wanted to encourage them towards the Jannah. Although there is in Jannah many favors and many kind of luxuries, but Allah Azza wa Jalla picked up and talked about the water especially in order to encourage them. But I do not think that this interpretation is valid. It's not valid, because the water, the rivers, is not unique deserve. It's not a unique deserve to the Arab. It's common between all of the human entity. When you go to Europe or when you go to any place in the West where the water is where there is much water, you can see there that in that places, in that buildings, the water and the things which have waters in their gardens or in their homes, it's also the remarks of luxuries, and the people there also needs to hear the water, to swim in the water, and to see the water within his garden. So the water, it's very essential element of the luxuries. We should not think that it's unique to the Arab because they deserve it much because of the state where they are living. So تجري من تحتها الأنهار, the rivers also in our courts, the rivers, deserving the rivers to look at it and to live next to it. This is in our inside. We feel happiness when we are near to the water, when we are near to the springs. And I think that this is also comes from the Jannah. We brought out this deserve also from the Jannah, and we can only satisfy this deserve in Jannah. Only we can satisfy it in Jannah. So wherever Allah Azza wa Jalla talk about Jannah or Jannat, you can see that Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioning about the rivers flowing underneath them. تجري من تحتها الأنهار. This promise is for the people who have taqwa of their Lord, who protecting themselves from their Lord. When they live in this world, they are thinking about their Creator. They are trying to please Him, and they are avoiding from upsetting their Lord. So their life has a purpose. Their life has an objective, and they know that their life is only a test from their Creator. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will reward them. وَعْدَ اللَّهِ. In the ayah number 19, we had seen the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jalla for those who do not respect their Creator, who do not want to leave to see the truth. And in this ayah, for al-muttaqun, for those who have taqwa, we see that Allah Azza wa Jalla talks about His reward. Wa'ad Allah, and this reward, Allah Azza wa Jalla guaranteed it with His promise. Wa'ad Allah, this is not a promise of anyone. This is the promise of Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is the promise of the only one Creator. So you can rely on it. You can put your trust on it. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla controls everything. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, when He promised something, you can be confident. You can be sure that it will happen as Allah Azza wa Jalla promised. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will not fail in His promise. وَعَدَ اللَّهِ لَا يُخْلِفُ اللَّهُ الْمِعَادِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla will not change His promise, because He has the power. He has the power to do it. He has all the power. No one has power apart from Allah Azza wa Jalla. He controls all the power, so He will do whatever He promised. And you cannot think any other person or other thing that will prevent Allah Azza wa Jalla from fulfilling His promise. There is no any other thing that Allah Azza wa Jalla does not control it or control Him. So when He controls everything, there will not be any anything could prevent Him from fulfilling His promise. So wa'ad Allah, you can believe, you should believe in the promise of Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is not any kind of promise. Wa'ad Allah, in some ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla say, Ya ayyuhan nas, all the human kind, ayyuhan nas, all people, inna wa'ad Allahi haqqun, verily the promise of Allah is really certain, is really truth. حَقٌّ فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. So the life of this world should not deceive you, because the promise of Allah is really truth, is really true. So do not let the world, do not let the life of this world deceive you. وَعَدَ اللَّهِ. And we can find many clues for this reality. We can see that Allah Azza wa Jalla has the power, and this worldly life itself shows us that Allah Azza wa Jalla can do these all beauties in this world. We are admired to these beauties in this world, and we know that the only one Creator had already created it. He has the power, He had the power to create them, and He says to us that this is only small or only simple beauties which I presented to you in this life. But in the Akhirah, وَإِنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ, in the Akhirah you will receive the real beauties of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So you can go through this life, go through this creation, and understand that Allah Azza wa Jalla has the power, has the knowledge to create better and better in that life. So when we believe in the promise of Allah Azza wa Jalla, we are not believing in it blindly. We are already seen the Creator of Allah Azza wa Jalla. We are already admired to His beauties in this life. So we are already liked His creation. We said, oh Allah, you had created many really beautiful things. You are very good creator. Tabarakallahu ahsanul khaliqin. We are already approved the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. We are already seen it. So we can believe in the creation of the hereafter, in that life, and the favors and the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal in that life, because we had seen them, already seen some of them in this life. So wa'ad Allah, it's not a promise without any clue, without any proof. It's already proved promise of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَعْدَ اللَّهِ لَا يُخْلِفُ اللَّهُ الْمِعَادِ. And you should know that Allah Azza wa Jal will not differ in His promise, will not change His promise. لَا يُخْلِفُ اللَّهُ الْمِعَادِ. When Allah Azza wa Jal promise you something, when Allah Azza wa Jal promise promise any nation, anything, Allah Azza wa Jalla fulfilled them all. You can go throughout the history and you see them. Now we are moving on the ayah number 21. And in this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla asks us something. Alam tara, see you not? And when He asks in this way, we understand that Allah Azza wa Jalla wants to say to us that you should believe in my promise. Because didn't you see? Didn't you see this? Didn't you see that? Didn't you see that? If you did see them all, you should believe in me, because I have already proved myself to you. I have already proved my ability, my power to you. You are not the one who didn't see anything about my power, about my knowledge. And in that state, you may say, oh Allah Azza wa Jal, how can I believe to you? I didn't see any kind of your power. I didn't see any consequence of your power. So how can I trust you? You might say that at that state, but you are already had seen many of my ayats. Especially yourself is one of my biggest ayah. You are yourself, and the place, the environment surrounding you. Didn't you see? Let's look what Allah Azza wa Jalla asking us to see. Alam tara, didn't you see that? أن الله أنزل من السماء, that Allah Azza wa Jalla, the only creator, the only one God, had sent down from the sky. أنزل من السماء.